Well, Liam, the Ballymac Kennels, they're famous all over the world. Could you tell us how it all began?
How they started? Well, as a young fella, I suppose, my father, he was a farmer, but there was always dogs in that yard, and it was very hard not to be involved in the game. And, you know, I just took a liking for greyhounds, and I remember, I suppose, I was 7 or 8, I remember that much anyway, and they had a qualifier in Clonmel, and my father and my first cousin, Pat Joe, I'd say, they were going to Clonmel anyway on the Sunday evening prior to Clonmel, and I remember, it was in a Morris Minor car or something like that. I'm telling my age here now, but so they put the bitch in the Morris Minor car, and I went missing there because I was crying, and it wasn't so much that I wanted to go to Clonmel, but I suppose I felt that, you know, I was part of it, and it was my wish for her to do well in Clonmel. So I think I had the bug, got to that stage, and look, I grew up, went to school, all that stuff, and went to college, and became a farm manager, and went off working I worked in Mitchelstown, and I worked in South Kerry, and I worked in West Kerry, and I suppose when I was 20 or something like that, my father gave me a couple of greyhounds, and he gave me a bitch, a brindle bitch one time out of Mullen Slippy, and Cleek Blonde, and she was a bitch, turned out to be, her name was Blonde Slippy, and look, a cracking bitch, and I won 3 rounds of our sweepstake inside in Tralee, and on that particular night there was a buyer there to buy her, and the final didn't work out, and she wasn't bought, and that's where my nucleus really started. And she went on after that. That was 1992, if my memory serves me right. And she went on to win the champion bitch stake in Thurles, 29:36 as far as I remember. Great time that time, because, you know, it was the old track. Blonde Slippy will always stick in my mind as the bitch, and she's buried just down the road there. We have a headstone to her, and she was a bitch, I suppose, that, you know, was the nucleus of the whole thing, and it all, you know, mushroomed from there, really. Blonde Returns, I suppose everyone would know Blonde Returns, whereas Blonde Slippy mightn't have been as familiar. But Blonde Returns then came on the scene, and she was a cracking bitch, and she was, you know, down too long. And if you go back to go to Ballymac Vic now, and if you go back generations, that's where all that started.
Yes. Blonde Returns, she seemed to breed to every stud dog.
Yeah, she was a phantom flash bitch, a little fawn bitch, and I remember Eddie Anderson one time, he's now the manager of Clonmel Track, but he was a reporter that time, and she ran an unraced sweep stake that time in Clonmel, and he called it a pocket rocket. And look, we bred her to everything, and everything we bred her to, she threw great greyhounds, and look, we spread wings after that. We got different breeds and different lines, and I bought into lines, and so that's where it all spread out from, really.
We'd bring him in here when they're about 6 or 7 weeks pregnant, and they'd be dosed, and inoculations would be due, and the houses would be got ready, and they'd be fed properly, and when the pups were born, then they'd be dosed from 2 weeks onwards up to 12 weeks on a regular basis. Then produce the pen then at 3 to 4 weeks when they're as big to start lapping, they'll start lapping, and they'll get, you know, chicken or chicken soup, and we build them up along then to chicken and nuts and whatever is healthy.
Okay.
And the mothers are dosed as well regularly to keep everything ticking over.
Okay. And at what stage would they be moved out of here then?
They'd be coming out, we'd say, from 6 weeks onwards, you know,
okay,
out to the place out here, and they have their own run out in, and they can walk in and out. And Ballymac Sasha, Royal Impact, they're only a couple of days old. There's 9 in the litter, 6 bitches and 3 dogs, that I can remember. So they're all happy and healthy, thankfully. This is a litter off of Ballymac Vicky and Kinloch Bray, a repeat meeting to the famous Ballymac Vic. We have 6 pups, 4 dogs and 2 bitches, and they're just over, gone on 3 weeks old, I suppose. So we're very happy to have them, and hopefully they'll be as famous as himself. This is a litter off of Ashdown Amy and Thomas the Tank Engine, coursing pups. There's 9 in the litter, 5 bitches and I think it's 3 dogs. So does do a bit of coursing as well, just to keep us in touch with everything, so hopefully we'll pull something out of it. This is a bitch called Cash and Becky. She's due in a week's time to Ballymac Vic as well, so hopefully we'll have a few. She's healthy anyway, so more to look forward to.
So when I moved from South Kerry to West Kerry, and I worked for Kerry Group that time, and after, I know it was 22 years or something like that, they closed up the pig farms really, and they got into other enterprises. And so at that stage, I took up greyhounds as with a passion, as my hobby and my living at that stage. And so we moved to Ballymacelligott, and I had a schooling track there, and we ran that for a while, and then we moved ship, and we came up to where we are now. And this was a kind of a bigger investment for us. It was a bigger area. We had 4 acres. We came to where that was 30, and whether we lost the run of ourselves then, or whether we just, we got much bigger, and we've gotten much bigger, and this is where we are today.
The Ballymac prefix has carried some great names over the years. I suppose one springs to mind straight away is Ballymac Maeve.
Yeah, Ballymac Maeve was a Rowan Key dog with a brown returns, a cracking dog. His career ended very, very, very early, John. I remember the night Tyler Ted won his the Laurels Belong Cork. He did 28-26, and we had a pup there, and that was Maeve, and he did 28-46. Look, he was a super fast dog. Broke his leg, I think, maybe a month after that in a race in Shelburne, and on that you wouldn't breed a dog, but I took a chance on him because I thought he had a great damn line. He had a Rowan Key, which I liked, and I must have bred 7 or 8 bitches of my own to him, and maybe a lot more. And I remember when the Stipperty Stews came here to mark the dogs, Frank Taunton, a great old friend of mine, and he was marking away anyway, and I was bringing litter after litter, and they were all Ballymac Maves, and I remember looking out, he looked out the side there, I said, what's Frank, what's wrong? He said, I hope you're right in your decision. But so, that kind of stuck with me that day. But look, he made it, and maybe it was through my own bitches and things like that, and got him on the map. And he's bred numerous winners. He actually bred a coursing derby winner, which was unique in itself. And look, there was lots more shot up along there, Minnie and Bargain and Floss and all them. Probably, I can't remember half of them, but that's probably where it all kicked off.
It's not just blonde returns, all the projects that you came from. You obviously widened your base with your bitches. We
did, John, really. I suppose there was an old saying that you didn't put all your eggs in one basket. So look, I bought different bitches off of different lines there, and one bitch there was Ballymac Minnie, and she came from the Lizzie Mars great line, and she was another source of great dogs. She threw Green Heat, who won the Red Mills Produce Stakes. The dog offer called Ballymac Flight. He went to America. He was a super dog in America. Pat Dalton kindly took him over from me, and I think he holds a record over there of winning 31 open races in a calendar month. And then we acquired different breeds. You keep spreading, and you just keep changing, because breeds drop out and breeds fade away, and whereas if you have different lines and you can cross them with maybe within your own dogs within the yard and things like that, so it all helps. And I suppose some people would say it was done by chance, and to be fair, we never really, but you'd watch dogs running around tracks and pick out nice breeds and maybe acquire a few pups off of them and walk away from them.
Jane was telling us at about 6 weeks you move your pups down here.
Yeah, that's correct, John. We bring these pups at 6 weeks out to the outside yards, and this is a litter here by Ballymac Vic out of a bitch called Moyer Kite. Now, Moyer Kite, I bought her from England for breeding. She's a full sister of Spatter Maestra, an open class bitch herself, and these are lovely pups. There's 3 dogs and 4 bitches in it, and they're here then until they're tattooed or inoculated, and then we pick them from here out of, and take them to bigger kennels and paddocks across the yard.
These are more Ballymac Vic pups here now.
Yeah, this is a litter here out of a bitch called Ballymac Razzle, and she was a razzle dazzle billy bitch out of Ballymac Floss. She was a cracking bitch herself. She ran at the Derby. I think she did 29.65 in a round of the Derby. She did 31.16 for the 5.75 there. Broke her leg one night in Shelburne, and she was retired quite early, which is it was a loss for us, but maybe look this year we might gain it here. But they're a cracking little pups, very strong even pups, and we're looking forward to these.
We have some more Ballymac Vics here.
Yeah, this is a litter here out of Vonna, Elsa and Vic. Fine little pups, strong, healthy looking devils. There's 8 of them there, 3 dogs and 5 bitches. She's a highly bred bitch. We look pretty good bitches to see what he's going to do, and so we're looking forward to that again. Well, we are selling. We have to sell to survive, because this is a business, and at the end of a Friday or Saturday evening we have so many people to pay, along with all the suppliers of different produce, and we have unraced dogs always coming on stream, and every dog has a price. And Vic, for some reason, was there, and there's a Spanish man actually. He buys a good few dogs off me, Javier Jarnay, a lovely man, and Javier had been buying dogs maybe for the last 10 or whatever, and he's got good dogs without super dogs, but he's got his value worth, and he came one day and he said, you're selling the good dogs to England. And I said, Javier, do you know what? Say no more now, Javier. You come with me and you pick him. So anyway, I left 3 dogs out in the yard to Javier. I gave him the 3 cards. He looked at them, he looked at the cards, he looked at the dogs. And Ballymac Vic was one of those dogs. And he unfortunately left him after. So that was one buyer, and he stayed there. And then an Englishman rang me up one day and came to see Vic tried. And I asked him the price, and he said, "You're too dear." Well, I said, "I think he's a very, very fast pup." And so anyway, he left to go. And if he did, and I think fate. I'm a fierce believer in fate, and I think sometimes when he's that destined to go, he stayed, and that's how that dog is there today.
How do you attract so many English customers, Liam?
Well, John, I suppose that these lads are always on the phone looking for something, again, be it grade or mini opens or top open dogs, and I suppose we just kind of go through the dogs, what we have, and get on the phone to them and look, they can fly into Farm 4 and they're within Tralee in 15 minutes, and they can come and see the dog tried. And take Esky, for instance, Peter Band was looking for a dog and looking for a class dog, he said, and I just rang him up about Ballymacelligott, and I had Ballymacelligott and a brother, so we tried the two of them. Esky ran the better. He liked him a lot that day, and he bought the dog. Now look, he won the juvenile, he was the talking dog in England for the English Derby, he won the Scottish Derby. He mightn't have worked out, it transpires now he has a wee bit of an injury, and so he's coming to the Irish Derby, I think, in 2 or 3 weeks' time for trials again. But it's mostly by phone, or the lads are watching the breeds going running in England, and as I say, they come and see him tried, or they just send over the dog and we're happy with him, or whatever the case may be. This is an area here now where our own brood bitches, or any of the bitches are coming in for the dogs. We just isolate them here. They're not near the race dogs then, so they're all tagged up, and we test them maybe every second day then for the dogs, and that's basically it over here. So roughly at 12 weeks, when the pups are fully inoculated on the other side of the yard and all marked up and tattooed, we'd bring them over to this. These paddocks are roughly 110 or 20 yards long, and they're fed here once a day, and they're turned out onto a 300-yard gallop twice a week. And roughly at 8 months, 9 months, we take them back and begin to house them up over and feed them individually. This litter here is probably the oldest litter we have off of Vic. They're off a bitch called Ballymac Linda and Ballymac Vic. We have a bitch in here called off of Lefant April, Tettlewell down there in the East Coast, and Ballymac Vic. So we're looking forward to these. They're handsome looking pups again. Not trying to blow the dog up or anything, but they look well, and we're looking forward to it again. This is a litter here of smashing looking saplings off of Aesai Rumble and Coolivany Minor. Minor was a full sister of Ballymac Maeves, and we have a dog in there for Galtieli and Ballymac Maeve. Here we have a litter out of Galtieli and Ballymac Maeve. Galtieli was the mother of that Ballymac Macho who won the Peggy Kelly, and he won an unraced sweep in Longford. And so we bred her to Maeve. Nice pups. In this field here we have a litter out of Tullamurray Acta and Ballymac Brer. She was a cracking bitch, actually beat Ballymac Vic in his first qualifying trial, I think in 29.79 or something like that. And she was on the brink of being sold, and we took her for a trial one day, and she broke her hock. So this is her offspring, her first litter, and there's 2 dogs and 3 bitches. I think I have a dog and a bitch sold. Sorry, I have 2 dogs and a bitch sold. So yeah, good looking dogs, gamey looking dogs. And in this paddock here we got a litter out of Ballymac Vic, the mother of Vic, and Van's Escalade. They're about 8 months old, handsome looking saplings, looking forward to them. So in about maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks, we'll be bringing them back to the farm now again, and train them to the lead, and housing them up and feeding them individually. So yeah, they have the looks in it. This is a little area here where we have our injured dogs. We'll bring them over here. This little dog here has had a toe under about a fortnight ago, so we just close him off, just confine him to a yard, blister the toe, cut back the nail, and then we release him out here for maybe 2 weeks and he does his own thing on this area, which is about 50 yards long, which is all sand, and we can bring him back and reintroduce him where he was in the training kennel. So the first greyhound I owned was a dog called Renard Boy. Renard is a place down in South Kerry. where I lived and worked there for 8 years. Got him from my dad. I reared him down there, and my father trained him for me. He won the Vincent Hedges sweepstake in Tralee, and then he won the Cal's Derby trial stake in Tralee. That time he went to Dublin. But I remember after he won in the Vincent Hedges sweep, I worked in a pig farm that time, and we were loading the pigs for dinnies the following Monday morning, and a man came in and he threw a checkbook up on the table, and he says to me, "How much do you want for that dog?" And I was young and green, and I forget what I asked him, but he says, "I'll fill in the check now." He says, "For $5,000 there for you." That was 1983, which was a lot of money, and I said no. But anyway, to make a long story short, the dog went down. He got injured. He got injured 2 days before he went to go on the Derby. Never turned out to be the dog afterwards, and that was a lesson for me that I never forgot. And rarely enough did I refuse money for a dog after that. The two stud dogs you see here in front of us are one is called Ballymac Bull, the black and white dog, dog that won the Kingdom Derby in Tralee. And we took him to the English Derby a couple of years ago, and Terry Dartnell had him, but he got injured in the first round of the Derby really, and he came back and we had to take off a toe, and he never just kind of shone after that really. But he's got a few nice pups on the ground. Got his share of bitches, but you know yourself now, he's off a Ballymac Maeve and the Ballymac Mini, and she's going back to Lizzie Marr's line, which is a great line. I suppose if he got his share of bitches he would produce, but the amount of winners he has is curtailed by the bitches he's got really. And the black dog is Burnpart Champ, who's the father of Ballymac Esky. Busy now since Esky came on the scene, but he's kept going without being over busy. But yeah, we have Ballymac Maeve, who's always busy, and he's gone 8.5 now, and I suppose the new dog will probably take it over will be Vic. So that's really the four we have. Yeah, we'd swim dogs. Saplings we could swim maybe once a week and take them from there, give them a shower, shampoo, and leave them off in the fields. And race dogs, not always, but we would swim dogs maybe once a week. Or injured dogs, especially with muscles and toes, and we can swim and let them into a small paddock. And race dogs we could swim. I would have swam Vic weekly, once a week, 3 minutes in, out, and just let him go and dry him off and put him away. And loves it. Great sleep, and that sleep for 3-4 solid hours afterwards. So we find the head foot. The pool is heated, just takes the sting out of the water. Look, it was an idea I got there maybe 20 years ago. I had an injured bitch, and we had to stitch a muscle in her, and John O'Connor to stitch it, and he said to me, if you could swim that bitch. So I went to Banna originally, where I came from, outside Alfred, and there was a wall there that you could walk along the tide, and when I said to myself, coming away that evening, I'm not going to be travelling here 30 miles every day, so we built a little pool, and simple little tank, and heated.
So basically in this house here, John, we bring back the dogs at say 9-10 months from the paddocks you just were at over the field there, and we bring them back here and we house them up for the first time, and it's all new to them. So these dogs all would have been trained to the lead to a certain extent, but they would be in need of a bit more handling. So we bring them back here and we'd go through them and we'd start swimming them. We'd bring them out for a swim, and when you're bringing them out for a swim, obviously they're on the leads, and it all helps. And you bring them in, and we could give them a dose then when they come back as well, and bring them back, and then we'd give them a shower. They love the water. At the start they might get a bit frightened. They think you're trying to drown them at the start, but they get used to it, and then they love the water. And we bring them back and we'd house them up, and after that then I suppose you'd give them a break and you'd take them around the fields. The last 4 saplings there we saw that I brought down through the fields, they were Ballymac Maeve, Ashtown Amy's pups, and Ashtown Amy won a stake in Clonmel on the final day, and she was a really, really good bitch, and we're looking forward to them for this year. And we'd bring them out through the fields and give them a good bit of exercise, maybe every day, maybe every second day. You might get a swim one day, the gallop the next day. We'd build them up slowly, then you throw them into the back of the van and bring them down the road and smarten them up, and it all helps. It's all new to them, so you'll be bringing them along slowly, and they'd get to 12 months and maybe we'd bring them back to our own bit of a run behind the field there and put them into traps, and we'd bring them on another little bit and get them used to the traps, and then by the time they're getting up to 13 months, you want to be getting them a bit fitter. And I suppose here we tend to qualify our dogs, I suppose 14 months, maybe 15 months, you know. We have a backlog of dogs and we try to get them out the door and fizzle them down and find out what we have. And so we'd have them fit at 14, 15 months, and by that time they'd have a couple of goes, and we'd bring them into Tralee for a school, and we'd have a fair idea. You know, they will always definitely need 2 runs.
We put in a new grass gallop there about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and we put in a watering system over it. And then on this one we have a sand gallop, because that's what all the sands practically nowadays, or all the tracks nowadays are practically sands. So I'd like to give him a feel for both, and maybe galloping on the grass is that a little bit tougher. You'd often see a dog when he comes to the top of the gallop, he's a little bit more under stress after galloping on the grass gallop than on the sand gallop. But we use both of them, just switch them around, change them. Maybe if the gallop got a little bit cut up either way, or if the grass gallop, even though with a watering system, it can at times maybe still get hard. And the man above does a lot of our watering for us, as we know in this country, so it saves us a lot of time and money. And so we'd switch around. And anyway, it's good for a dog to keep them switched and use both of them. So we'd gallop a dog. It's 300 yards long. People have said it should be longer, this or that, but there's a nice steady pulling it. And we find it perfect. If a dog comes up to that, his tongue is out, and we're happy enough with that. Well, this is the house from when Shane and his people are finished next door at 13, 14 months. They have that bit of schooling done. Then we take them to the schooling track and, to the official track in Tralee or wherever we go. They're qualified, and once they're qualified, they come into this house. They're probably getting a little bit, prettier feeding and handling. Then they're handled more often. And so then we go through the course of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks and see what we got. And then there's people continuously ringing, looking for unraced dogs, bitches and dogs, whatever the case may be, graders. So we'd know in 6 weeks' time after bringing the dog in here what we have really. And after that, if the person wants to come and see it tried, we take them to Tralee, and then they can look at these dogs themselves, and then we have people that would trust us, and we just put a dog in a transporter and we get paid accordingly. And if they're not sold, they're kept here and they're put into training by ourselves.
Ballymacelligott, a bit unlucky in the English Derby.
John, I suppose at the end of the day, if you see the aerial shot, I mean, if you see the straight shot, first of all, you'd say what happened at the first bend, but when you can see the aerial shot afterwards, I mean, his 2 hind legs were taken from under him, and he mightn't have got the best of runs down the back straight, to be fair. But look, Charlie Lister won the Derby. I was the second or third man to congratulate the man on the track, and that's the way dog racing is, and we have no sour grapes about it. Look, Vic, as everyone knows at this stage, is a real fast dog. Has been terribly unlucky when it comes to the finishing of business, but I'm not worried about that. The dog is a great greyhound, and I think if he doesn't make it himself, I think his pups are going to make it. And we're putting him away. We're actually taking a bit of semen off him today, and we're putting him away after a week or 10 days and rest him, and then we're going straight for the Irish Derby. We had a tremendous experience in England. We took the dog to England, and people said it was probably a brave move, but at the end of the day, we had to give him his chance. I mightn't come across a dog again like that. We set out here on the 14th of May, I think, and we shot over and gave him a sprint trial. We took him to a kennel, Graham box down the road, and the reception we got from these people was tremendous. And we gave him his 2 trials, ran 2 very impressive trials. We said we'd enter him in the Derby, so we brought him home after the trials, took him back for his first round, won his first round impressively. I think that dog started favourite in every round of the Derby. Every round of the Derby, so that's a testament to the dog in my book anyway. So we brought him home after the first round, went back with the second round, and we settled down there then, and the dog settled in well. To me, the dog did everything right in England. Maybe he just didn't carry that little bit of luck in the final. We've accepted that, and we're going to drive on. Wimbledon itself, to be fair, the people there, the management, top class, did everything possible that they can do with a track that, to be fair, is a bit run down. And long term for the greyhound industry to survive, I think in England, Pascal is trying to buy Wimbledon at the minute, as everyone knows, and I wish him well, and I hope to God, and he has all our backings over here. But if Pascal fails, I think we need a plan B to come into place here, and the English people are so enthusiastic about greyhounds, and I think they deserve a better track as a flagship to fly the British flag in England. And you know, I met a couple over there. They were an English couple, and the woman says to me, that the man's wife at this station, she said, my first date was in Catford Greyhound Stadium. And I just kind of scratched my head and said, you won't find too many girls to come to Greyhounds, the Wimbledon Stadium to find a wife, you know. So, look, I remember one of my days over there, I went down the Thames, myself and my wife Helen, just to get a look at the place. We were going down to a place called Kew Gardens, if you heard of it. And, you know, I was in a boat. You can see all the magnificent buildings in London and the magnificent bridges. And then I scratched, everything after 5 minutes to me leads back to a Greyhound. So I said to myself, I'm amazed that these people, you know, in this city of probably 15 million people, and we haven't got a kind of a state-of-the-art Greyhound stadium. I'm just flabbergasted. And you know, there's a lot of English people over there, and I think if Pascal Taggart doesn't come to the fore, I think these people, you know, there's an investment here for people. We have 15 million people, and probably the same amount of tourists coming through that place every year. And take my local track here inside in Tralee here, you know, there's busloads of tourists going to this track here, you know, right through the summer. And you have these people in London right throughout the year. And I think there's a massive investment here for the right people, and I'm sure that the Irish people and the Irish breeders would be willing to throw their weight in behind it here. So, you know, if Pascal fails, I'm looking forward to maybe somebody else coming up from. And if Wimbledon can be got, you know, forget about Wimbledon. Let's go out the road and get someplace new, and keep this industry going, because, you know, you're talking about people being employed in England in this game. There's 13 million or 13,000 people being employed in this country. And to be fair, you know, what's happening in England affects us over here. And for us to go forward as an industry, I think we need to throw our shoulder to the wheel and help whatever we can possibly, be advice or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I think this is urgent, and I think we need to throw whatever help we can their way. Well, this is our humble office, and we keep all details here of pups and race dogs and qualified dogs, and really where all the bitches are mated and their expectant times and dosing times, and so we come in here and we you know, the dogs are qualified. We go through their cards, and people ring at different occasions and looking for, be it a race dog or a grader or a hurdler or whatever, and we go through the cards, pick up the phone, talk to the lads and give them the price of it, and sometimes I say we're too dear, and sometimes I say we're too cheap, but we try to look after everybody.
We've seen it all here now today, Liam. The first pups we see, I think, were around 5 days old, and we went right through the conveyor belt there, and we see Vic heading off to stud.
Yeah, tis, as you said, tis a circle really, and here we have Vic now, and he's probably going to finish up to be hopefully a fantastic stud dog, but it's up to him now. So we have his progeny. We've done the circle. We have, I suppose, 5 or 6 or 7 bitches maybe mated to him ourselves, and I'd say he's probably got another 15 outside that, and to the public. And look, this is the process we're at. You know, we're in the business of breeding pups, selling pups, supplying dogs to the marketplace for whoever wants it. And you know, if a stud dog comes along in between, which is a bonus to us. And this is what it's all about, and I suppose this is what gets us out of the bed in the morning. And you know, every day we go out there, we're trying to own it. You know, a superstar. Sometimes it isn't easy, and you know, sometimes it gets difficult, and the marketplace will dictate everything. But you know, this is the game we're in, and we love it.